Hi, in this video we are going to develop a concurrency verification software. For this we need Visual Studio 2015 software. Let's get started. I have started Visual Studio 2015 software. We are going to create a new project. We are going to name the project as Concurrency Verifier. Let's create the project. It's going to be a C# based Windows form application. Here is our software form in which we are going to design our software for concurrency verification. As soon as we select the form, on the right hand side we have a solution explorer, and at the bottom we have the properties explorer. We are going to select the text property of the form, and we are going to change the name to concurrency verifier. So the name has been set for the Windows form. Now we are going to adjust the layout, height and width of the program so that we can make a nice software for us. First of all, we are going to make use of the toolbox here. Let's put the toolbox here. Let's reduce the size a little bit so that we can view it properly on the form. The first thing which I want to get started with is, let's say we'll get started with a menu strip or a label control. We'll take a label control and we are going to drag and set the label control here. We are going to change the label control to something like more appropriate. Select C program for verification. So we'll select the C program in this section here. We are going to have a text box control. Let's use the text box control here. We adjust the text box control here. We are going to drag the length, the width of the text box control to somewhat like this. We are going to change it to read only so that nobody can modify the path. So I'm going to go to the read only property of the text box here, and you can see that the read only property is false, so we are going to set it to true. Once it is set to true, now we'll browse a button control and we are going to drop the button control here in the section here. Now we are going to change the text property of the button control to browse. Now as soon as we click on browse, we'll be able to select a C program and the path of the C program will be visible in the text box here. To do that, we need to make use of one more tool, and that is known as Open File dialog. As soon as we click enter, Open File dialog has been added to the project here. So now what we can do is we can make use of the Open File dialog in our project. So what next we'll do, we'll double click on the browse control and we are going to connect with the Open File dialog. But before proceeding to the code, I would like to complete the design of my layout. So the next section which I want to design is another label, and this label will specify that we are going to have a code view here. So let's change the property of the label to code view. Now we are going to take a rich text box control here, in which we are going to display our source code which we will be using for verification. Let's drop that here. Let's increase the size to somewhat like more appropriate. We're going to create a new button control, and this button control will be named as verify. We'll change the text property of this button control to verify. In the next section, we are going to have the result box as well. So we'll take one more rich text box. Let's drag the rich text box here, and we are going to set the rich text box height and width to somewhat like this. Here inside this we'll get the result view. We'll take one more label control, and using this label control we are going to change the text property of the label control to result view. We'll have a progress bar as well. So using this progress bar, we'll notify the user that some process is going on when we click on verify. And we need a timer control as well, so that we can schedule the progress with respect to the timer. So you can select the timer, click on the timer, press enter, and that will be added to your project here at the bottom. So now our design is ready. You can see that name of this control is text box 1. This is button 1. This control is rich text box 1. This control is rich text box 2. Verify button is button number 2. And progress bar is progress bar 1. So now we are going to interact with these controls. So first thing which we have to do is, as soon as we click on browse, we should be able to select a file, that is a C program, and path of the C program should be visible within the text box here, and we'll be able to view the program code within the code view section here. In case if you want to modify the code, you will be able to modify the code from the code view section also. So we'll double click on the browse button so that we can set an event handler on the button control, and name of the event handling function for the button control is button1 underscore click. So within this, what we are going to do, first of all, we are going to get the dialog result, and we'll create an object result. We are going to use open file dialog 1, and we are going to show dialog as soon as somebody clicks on the button control, that is your browse button. So we'll use open file dialog. This is the name of the object which we are using. The object is of open file dialog class type. There is a function within this object that is known as show dialog, which will display the dialog to browse the file for you. Whatever file we will select, the result of that action will be stored within the result. Okay. So now next what we'll do check an if statement. If the result is equal to dialog result dot OK. So we are going to say if the result is OK, that means some file is selected and now we can process the file. Okay. So in order to process the file, the first thing we like to get to know is the name of the file or path of the file which we have selected. So we are going to select the value from the open file dialog and we are going to store that into a file name. So we'll select open file dialog 1, and there is an attribute here known as file name which will store the value of the file selected. Whatever value is received here, we are going to store that value inside the file name. The file name is of string type. Now once we have got the file name, we are going to display the file name in text box 1.text, and we are going to set that as a file name. Once the file name has been selected and set on the text box, now what we will do, we are going to read the selected file and show contents on text on our rich text box 1. So to do this, we are going to make use of a class known as StreamReader. We can use the class StreamReader. Since StreamReader is not imported in our project at the moment, we can simply use Shift Alt F10 to get the suggestions. You can use Shift plus Alt plus F10, and you can select using system.io, which will automatically import the StreamReader class within our project. We are going to create an object of the StreamReader type, and we are going to create the new instance of StreamReader using new keyword. This instance requires name of the stream or path of the file which you want to read. So we can pass the file name here, which we have received from the open file dialog. So we have opened the file dialog, we have received the name of the file, we have set the name of the file on the text box 1, and now we are going to read the file. In order to read the file, we have created a reader object first for the file name, and now we are going to read the value from the reader, and the method is read to end. Using this read to end, you will be able to read the content of the file which you have selected, and we are going to store that into code. So whatever code is written in our file name, we will read the file and we are going to store the data in the code variable. Now we are going to close the reader. We'll close the reader, and after closing the reader, now we are going to set the code in our rich text box 1. So in order to do that, we'll do something like this: rich text box 1.text, and we are going to store the value of code into that. So now first part of our code is ready. In this, what we are actually doing is, we have selected the file, we will take the file path, we are going to store the file path we are going to read the file path, and then we are going to store the value of the file into the rich text box one. So let me give you a quick demo how this particular thing works. Let's click on start. So this is our concurrency verification program. We are going to browse. Within browse, I have a demo underscore VCC directory wherein I have a first.c program. I have selected the program. I will click on open. As soon as I click on open, you can see that the path has been selected and the code which we have written within the file is open within the rich text box. So the first section of our code is ready. Now what we can do is we can either take the code from a file or we can write the code here. Then we'll click on verify. So whatever code we will write here, that will be verified with our concurrency verifier program. In order to proceed next, now we are going to set an event handling on the verify button. To do this, let me just first stop the code. We'll go to the design view, and now I want to set the event handler on verification. What I want my verify to do, I want to read the program which is written in the rich text box 1. I'm going to store that into a program file known as program.c. Then I'm going to verify that program.c using my VCC verifier, and whatever result I will get, that I'm going to display within the result view. So let's proceed. Double click on verify. In this section, what we like to do is we like to take the contents of our rich text box 1 and let's call it as code verify, the code which we want to verify, and we are going to get the data from rich text box 1.text. So whatever data we have in our rich text box 1, we are going to store that data into our code verify variable. Once we have got the data ready, now we are going to make use of stream writer class to write the content of the rich text box into a file name known as program.c. So we'll use the class stream writer. Let's create an object with the name writer. We are going to create a new stream writer, and within the stream writer we are going to create a file name known as program.c. Now using the writer object, we are going to write, and the data which we want to write within the program.c will be my code to verify. So the value will be written, and I'm going to close the writer stream, writer.close. So now at the moment our program.c is ready. Now what we want is, we want our verifier to verify program.c and display the output. So in order to do that, I'm going to make use of a process class, and the name of the class is process. But in order to use the process, you need to import system.diagnostics in your project. To do this, we will again click Shift Alt F10, and it will suggest us to use the namespace system.diagnostics. So we'll click on it, and you can see that our process class is ready. We'll click on P. We are going to create new process. So we have created an object of the process. Now we are going to set some starting information of the process. This starting information means all the information which is required by the process in the beginning before the program starts executing. So we can set the properties using P object of the process. Then there is an attribute known as start info, and within this start info we have multiple attributes available. The first one is a file name. This file name will be the program which we want to execute. So first of all, we are going to execute the command prompt, and hence we have specified cmd.exe. Now we are going to set some arguments for the program, and the arguments will be specified using arguments. So once we use cmd.exe, we have to specify the option /c. /c will specify cmd.exe that we are going to execute a command using cmd.exe, and the command will be vcc.exe, which we have already set in the path in the previous video. Now what next we have to do is we have to specify the name of the program, and that is program.c, which is currently available in the current path. So we have specified the program. Now we are going to set some more properties, like we are going to use shell execute, and we are going to set it to false. No, we don't want a shell execute. We want to create the process of the command prompt, and whatever the output it is, we have to receive the output in our variable. So we are going to set again start info dot redirect standard output, and we are going to set this to true, and we'll do something like start info dot create no window. We don't want command prompt to be displayed, so we'll set that to true, that we don't want any other separate window for a command prompt. We like to execute all the commands, that is our vcc.exe and program.c within our privileges of our program. So we have created that. Now what next we need to do, once we have set the properties, we are going to start the process, p.start. Once the process has been started, we are going to read the output of the process, and we are going to read the output in a variable of string type, and we are going to do something like p.standard output dot read to end. So whatever the output we have received from the process, we'll read the output till the end, and we are going to save that in the output variable, and we will wait for exit. We will wait for the process until the process completes, and finally, once we have got the output, now we are going to display the output in our rich text box 2, rich text box 2.text, and we are going to set the output. Okay, so whatever output will generate through the shell, that will be stored within our rich text box 2. Now once we click on verify again, we like to set some more properties within our rich text box 2, and that we'll do somewhere here. So as soon as we click on verification, what I want is, I want to display a specific message on my rich text box 2, and that will be, let's say we'll do something like verifying, please wait, so that user gets a simple notification that verification is turned on. Moreover, we like to use the timer as well, so we'll do something like timer1.enable is equal to true. We're going to start the timer. We're going to start the timer. We are going to set the timer interval, timer1.interval, and we'll give 1 second as the interval. Now we are going to set the value for our progress bar 1 dot maximum is equal to 100. And what next we need, I would like to set one more value. Once we will set that to verifying, we are going to set the progress value to, so it will get set to 10. Now we are going to set a timer event, timer1 dot tick plus equal to, we are setting a new event handler, and name of the timer1 dot click will be the name of the event handler. So we'll click on it, we'll go to the help section, we'll generate a method form1 underscore tick, and if you go to the bottom here, you can see that a method has been created here. We are going to override this method. We are going to say if, we are going to create a variable known as output result. If that output result will be true, we are going to set the timer 1 to stop. We are going to stop the timer, and we are going to set the value of our progress bar 1 dot value to 100, that is, it will fill the value. Else we are going to increase the value of the progress bar 1 dot value plus plus, so the value will be created, output will be received here. Now once what we need to do is, as soon as the progress will be executed, we are going to set a public variable here, and let's call it as boolean output underscore result, and by default we are going to set that to false. Okay, as soon as we click on verification, we are going to set the output result will be false. Okay, Once we have received the output here, we are going to set output result is equal to true. And once we have received the output result, so we are going to stop the timer and we are going to set the value here. So I hope the program is ready now. So I hope you understand each line of the program. Let's save the code. Let's run the code here and we'll do test it first, and if there are some modifications, we'll try to sort it out. So now what next we'll do, we'll click the browse program. We are going to open the program here. So we have got our program here. Let's click on verification. So as soon as I clicked on verify, we are testing the code first. So some progress is going on. Some verification has been displayed. Okay, the verification has been done and we have got a successful verification of the code within 1.23 seconds. Let me click on verify again. So I'll just quickly test the progress status. Now that is done. So what exactly we need to do is, we'll quickly get back to the code. Here we are going to set the output result to false. We are going to set rich text box 2.text is equal to this and progress bar to 10. So this has to be done ASAP. So I'm going to set the value of both of these variables at the top before the timer gets executed. And now let me just save it, run it again. So I have browsed the program, first.c. The code is written here. We have clicked on verification. So the verification has been completed and we have got the verification. Again, if we want to modify the code, let's say I have executed something like integer a is equal to 10, integer b is equal to 20, integer c is equal to a plus b, and we are going to print the output printf c. So let's say we have got a code. We are going to verify that again. So at this moment we have got some integer issues. So now you can simply check that because we have to put the value inside the correct function. We'll just remove the code here. We'll just verify that again. So now this time if the program is correct, verification will be done properly. If the program is incorrect, we'll get the specific error codes. Now how these error codes are identified and what are specific different cases which we can make use during our concurrency verification program, that we'll see a little later. Thank you for watching the video.